Yeah, so as Carl introduced me, I own a digital marketing company here in Indianapolis out on the west side. We're smaller, probably similar to most of the firms in here. I just started the company a couple of years ago. So we've got 5 staff on board, 6 including myself, and then we contract out for bigger projects from time to time. So I'm sure that you guys do similar things. What we're gonna look at a lot today is basically how to use digital marketing and social media to actually grow and scale your business, right? So the biggest issue that we have when we get on clients and then we talk to people, and even some of the people I was talking to in this room, is the belief that social media is some kind of big newspaper where you're supposed to be posting on there, right? And sure, posting is something you can do on social media, but I can tell you right now, if you're just posting a couple things per day on Facebook or Twitter, it's never gonna generate business for you. You might as well not even do it. You're just wasting time and you're wasting money. So what we're going to talk about today is how to actually use social media to drive business results. For most of our clients, depending on the space that they're in, if we're not making $10,000 a month off of their Facebook page and campaigns, we're not doing it right. So that should kind of be your benchmark. Am I making at least 10 grand off of my Facebook campaigns, off of my social media as a small business? If I'm not, you need to change something up. All right, so I just want a couple of show of hands real quick, just kind of get a better feel for who's in the room. So size of companies, can I just get a show of hands for like people that have like 1 to 5 staff? Okay, thank you. 1 to 10? All right, and anyone that has got over 10 staff, like regularly, not just during tax season? Okay, great. All right, that helps. And just a show of hands, how many of you actually have a dedicated marketing budget? Yeah, not a 1. Oh, we got 2. All right, good. So that's something we'll talk about, right? If you want to grow, if you want to scale, what do a lot of businesses do? What do a lot of CPA firms do if you guys are trying to market your business? Where do your clients come from? Just give me some answers. Referrals, yes, all the time, right? Anyone in the B&I? Do we have any B&I people in here? Oh, we don't have any. B&I, what does it stand for? Business networkers, it's the thing that, yeah, right. Do we have any B&I people in here? Probably half the room, maybe, yeah. A lot of CPA firms tend to get people from those kind of networking groups, right? Referral groups that they go to a lot of the time. The big issue when you're dealing with a smaller business, if you're trying to scale, it's very, very difficult to scale off of referrals, right? Referrals are excellent. They're an excellent source of revenue. They are going to be very good clients for you most of the time, but if you don't have a strategic system of regular lead generation, you're not going to be able to get to, $5 million a year, $10 million a year. It just won't happen. When you look at the bigger firms, that's what they're doing, right? They have a dedicated marketing budget. So does anyone know what the U.S. Business Administration or Small Business Bureau recommends for marketing for a small company? What you should be spending? Yep, 8%. 8% of your revenue every year should be spent on marketing. So 8% of your revenue every month should be spent on marketing if you want to grow and scale your business. So that's kind of your benchmark. Okay, right. So this is marketing, right? This is marketing in the past and now, right? So if we look at marketing now in the past, when we think of newspapers, radio, television, direct mail often, direct mail is a little bit better, it was just kind of praying. It's like, oh my God, please someone call my business, right? I hope that this works. We have no idea. So how many of you know, if you put in a newspaper ad in the paper or a radio ad, how many people read or listened to your ad? Do you know? You have no idea, right? The newspaper will tell you, oh, hey, we have a service area of 50,000 people, so we'll get you in front of 50,000 people, right? But you don't know who threw it away. You don't know who looked at your ad and was interested, who wasn't, right? It's very different. Now, with digital marketing, we can track everything. I know who's looking at your ad. If it's a video, I know how long that they're watching it. I know how many people clicked on it. I know how many people went to your website and stayed on your website for how long after clicking on it. So you can take that data and you use that to understand what's being effective in terms of who you're reaching. Are you reaching the right people? And is your content effective? Do the people that you're trying to reach actually care about what you're putting out there? If they're not watching it, if they're not clicking on it, it means that you guys don't have a good message, right? You're not connecting with your people. The other piece of that is your website, right? So if you're going to your website and they pop onto your website and are gone 3 seconds later, well, something's not working there, right? So you're wasting a whole bunch of money sending people to a website that people don't want to stay on. Speed, for example, if you have a really slow website, everyone's on their phones these days. If we look at the back end of most customers' websites, 80% of traffic will often be coming from the phone. So if your website doesn't work well on phones, if it loads really slow, people are going to leave. It's going to be gone. Also, Facebook and Google prioritize that. So if you have a slow-loading website, Facebook will say, we're not going to prioritize your ad or your content in the newsfeed. Google is going to say, we're not going to put it on page 1 because it's too slow. It creates a bad experience for visitors. So we're moving to the stage where we are very strategic in what we do. We know what works. We know what doesn't work. Very, very different. So just got a couple numbers and stats for you guys. 150 times per day. Anyone just want to take a guess? What do you think that is? It's something that people do, something that adults do. Yeah? Yep, look at their phone. This is the average American adult. We're not talking about the teens that are probably more, right? 150 times per day. So when we talk about marketing, marketing is all about attention. Where are people? Because if I'm putting up a billboard on a road that nobody drives by, I'm wasting my money, right? So where are people looking? People are looking at their phone. How many of you look at your phone during commercial breaks on TV? Everybody, right? Right? So again, kind of same thing there. You'd rather be advertising on people's phones than on TV because no one's watching the TV, right? All right, 2 billion users. This is a social media platform. Which one? Facebook. Facebook has 2 billion. 1/3 of the world is on Facebook. So again, if we talk about where people are, where their attention is, Facebook is one of the big ones. If you think about Twitter, does anyone know how many Twitter users there are? It's only like 400 million or something like that. It's really small. And if you take the US, it's even a smaller percentage of that. So you gotta remember, where are people? Where do you want to be? Do I want to spend time on Twitter if not that many people are there? Probably not. 2 hours per day, that's the average amount of time that people will spend on social media across platforms, whether it's Instagram, Facebook, Snapchat. And what I always tell people is, so question, we got the Snapchat profiles. How many people have an Instagram profile? Yeah, a couple people, about half the room. How many of you would spend an hour a day on Instagram? A couple people, yeah, see? So we got a couple people. The thing I always point out to people is you are not your customers. You are not your clients. You have to find out who they are, where they spend their time. I get a lot of times like, well, I never use Facebook. Well, I don't care, your customers are using it. So that's where you need to be, right? So don't think of yourself as a generalization of everyone else. Talk to your customers, find out where they are. 5.5 hours per day is, go ahead. Sleep? Yeah. 5.5 hours per day, sure.
Can you make a quick adjustment here?
Sure, should we?
Pay no attention to the man behind the curtain. You put the microphones too close.
There we go, all right. 5.5 hours per day is an amount of video that people watch online. That includes Netflix and Hulu and YouTube and all that stuff. But 5.5 a day. So anyway, so real important to understand that basically this is where people are these days. A lot of companies that kind of reach out to us, they usually have 2 problems. One is that they're not getting leads anymore. They used to, right? They used to have people come to their business and they're not. They're like, well, what's going on? They usually haven't transitioned to online, right? They're still doing newspapers, they're still doing Val packs or direct mail. It doesn't work nearly as well. It still does, it still has effect, right? But not like it did. Or they want to grow and they want to scale fast. If you want to grow and you want to scale fast, online is usually the best way to go. So okay, why digital? It's very cost effective. This is probably one of the biggest things for you guys as a small business, right? And as we talked about, no one quite has a marketing budget yet. Doesn't mean you can't make one. But if I want to reach people, let's say I want to reach 1,000 people using direct mail. Does anyone know how much that costs on average? It's about $57 to reach 1,000 people with direct mail. Does anyone know how much it often will cost on Facebook to reach 1,000 people? $10. $10. So your cost online is much, much cheaper than it is with traditional. Radio is about $18, costs you about $18 per 1,000 people on radio. But the difference with digital is it's extremely targeted, right? So if I'm putting something in the newspaper or if I'm putting something on the radio, who's hearing what I'm talking about? Everybody, right? Everybody. Who are you guys targeting? Who are you marketing to, or who do you want to be clients? You guys targeting everybody? No, you guys are targeting business owners, right? You want business owners, or you want people that help with their taxes maybe, but most of you guys are looking for business owners, right? So if I go to radio or newspaper, I'm paying for all these people who are not my potential customers. Just a lot of waste of money, right? It's just like if I'm advertising cosmetics. If I put something in the newspaper, I've got to pay for the men as well as the women. Waste of money. Online, we can target anybody for anything, especially with Facebook. Facebook is a data platform. That's really what it is. They basically record everything about you. It's really scary. But they know all the information about who you are, where you live, what your political affiliations are, what websites you visit, all that kind of stuff. Like they have that data. So if I want to target housewives in Carmel, who watch HGTV and have a dog, I can do that, right? And I'm just going to pay to reach that small segment of people instead of having to pay to reach everyone in Carmel. So it's extremely targeted, and I'll show you how that works. Rapid iteration and testing is another real big shift with digital that's different than traditional. So let's say I've got two images. Let's say I've got an image of a business owner looking all professional, and then I have an image of a business owner really stressed out, right? And I'm trying to market our tax services. Which one's more effective? Which one's going to be more effective to get people to maybe give us a call or send us an email? We don't know, right? It might be the one doing well. It might be the one that's stressed out. We won't know until we test it. But if I want to do that in the newspaper, how much is it going to cost you to send them two different images and then try and get information back about how many people called on the different images? It's not even really possible, and if it is, it's expensive, right? Maybe you could put a different number on each image and they could call, you could track that number, but it's a lot, right? Facebook, I can do that in 24 hours for 20 bucks. For $20, I can take two different images, put them into a Facebook campaign. 24 hours later, I can say, okay, this image gets more clicks than this image. I'll actually give you an example of it right now just for fun. So I just started a new campaign like a day or two ago. Let me pull it up. So we do work with addiction treatment centers and mental health clinics, and those are some of our clients. So let's see. Brand awareness. Senior Management Recovery, Florida. All right. So let me pull up performance and clicks. So there's some new laws that went into effect in Florida. They have changed the way that recovery centers and mental health clinics can market. It's completely changed their regulations. A lot of stuff has shifted. So we put up a campaign saying, hey, you know what? We know what the laws are. We know how to work within them. We can help you out. Because about 20% of treatment centers in Florida are closing right now because their old marketing methods are no longer working. So if you look, what we did here is we took the same exact copy, but I've got three different images running. So you can see the images. And then what we'll do is look at click-through rates. So my click-through rate's over here. So you can see it's a 0.1, 0.1, 0.3. These campaigns aren't running the best. What I want is like 0.1, but we just started it, so it'll take us a while to test and figure it out. But what we see is which one has the highest click-through rate? The one at the top, right? It's 3 times higher than the other two. 3 times higher. I'm getting 3 times more people to click on that ad than anyone else. And I'll show you the image for it. A slow internet connection here. That's the image for it. It's a sad clown, right? I mean, so, right, it's just strange, right? But I mean, the picture of the phone didn't work. The picture of like the excited 2017 guy didn't work. What what's working is a sad picture of a clown. And we see this all the time, right? All the time when we're split testing, stuff that we would not have thought would be the reality is. But for whatever reason, the sad clowns get people to stop, use their thumb, and click on the link and learn more, right? And that takes them to our website, where it takes them to an article specifically about the laws and gives them a chance to call us. You know, it's all linked together, right? But it's just really, really interesting how all that stuff works. And how much did we spend so far? Not too much, I don't think. Yeah, so I've spent a whopping $20 to figure that out. So in $20, I figured out that I can triple my conversion rate just by switching up with a clown image, right? And so we'll keep testing from here. But that's an example of how that works. All right, give it a second. Okay, last piece is it's interactive. Social media, the online world is interactive. Very, very different from your traditional marketing. If you get something in the newspaper, you see it, that's it, right, you're done. But anything that we put up on Facebook, you can comment on. You can like it, you can hate it, you can do whatever you want with it, but we're gonna get feedback on it, and I can talk to you. Once you comment on one of my ads or on my page, I can now send you a message. We can engage in conversation, right? Very, very different. What I usually tell people that are not big into social media and don't really get on it a lot themselves is you need to treat your social media marketing like you treat the real world. So if you have someone come into your firm, imagine them coming into your firm and nobody says hi, nobody greets them, they just get nothing, right? What would happen? Would you have a customer? No, you'd lose them, right? The online world is exactly the same. If you're somewhere and you're not responding, you're not engaging, you're actually losing clients rather than gaining them. So what I tell people is if you don't have this as part of your daily routine, or if you've not outsourced it to somebody or hired someone to do it, you don't want to be places where you're not engaged, because it'll actually end up hurting you more than helping you. So if you have a Twitter profile that you never use, I would shut that down, or I would hide it until I've got the time and resources to let someone be on there. Now, in the same exact way, what we see with a lot of clients is they think that it's some kind of online newspaper, online bulletin board, right? So what you'll get is, imagine someone walking into your firm again, and you say, hey, so Eddie, right? Eddie, you gotta buy my stuff. You gotta sign up with us. Are you gonna do it? No, right, you're gonna be pretty upset. But that's what most firms do online. They say, hey, here's our discount. Hey, it's tax season, buy our stuff. Hey, this is what you need to do right now, make sure you call us, right? Like, that's usually what you guys are pushing online, and it will kill your conversion rates, because people do not want to be sold. You have to build a relationship. Marketing, whether you're doing newspaper, traditional, digital, marketing is about relationships and it's about trust, right? So we talked about, a couple of people here said they'd been to like a BNI or a networking group, right? How many of you got a client like the first day you walked into one of those groups? Anybody? We got one. Anyone else? So real common, right? Every once in a while you might get someone, but what did it take for you to actually start getting referrals from these networking groups? How long did it take you?
Build that trust that you acknowledge.
Yep.
Better than you block.
Right, yeah, right. You do, right? Usually you won't start seeing referrals come in from a networking group for a couple months. All of your marketing is like that. I don't care what you do. If you don't invest a couple months in it to build relationships and build trust, it will always fail. It's just like going into a networking group and just kind of sitting there not talking to anyone, right? You can't do it. You have to be active, you have to be engaged. And so that either requires spending time or spending money, right? The two things that we don't have, right? It's not easy, but all right. Okay, so just a couple funky marketing terms so that everyone knows what I'm talking about when I talk about these things. Organic versus paid reach. If I go on my Facebook profile and I'm the page for my business, right? And I type in, whatever. Here, a CPA firm did some really cool sponsorship activity with the Children's Bureau this week. Check it out. That's organic. I'm not paying for that, right? My Facebook page is free. It's free for me to post on that. Does anyone know how many people will see an organic post on your Facebook page for a business? 4%. 4% of people. So if you have 100 fans or followers on your business page, only 4 of them will actually see that post. Facebook and every platform now is a pay-to-play platform. If you want to reach people on those platforms, you have to pay to do that. Otherwise, Facebook and Twitter and everyone else will show your post to a very, very, very small number of people. Now, you can kind of play those algorithms by getting people to like it and comment. That will up your organic reach, but not by a lot, usually, unless you've got a really good page running. The average engagement that we'll see on a Facebook page for like a standard business is 1% to 2% of people actually engaging with any content on there. So it's really small. So paid means you paid for it. I run a Facebook campaign, an ad, a Twitter ad, Pinterest ad, whatever we want to do. Okay, a couple other things. Tripwires, lost drivers, lead magnets. This is all marketing language. Basically, it means there's some kind of low-cost offer. So let's say if I'm thinking taxes, how many of you have clients, if you do their taxes, how many of them will continue to do taxes with you year on year? Most people, right? So would it be worth it for you to offer a discount in year 1 to get that client? Almost always, right? Almost always. I'm going to be willing to take a loss. I'll actually lose money year 1 with that client, but knowing that I'm going to keep them for 9 years, make a profit for 9 more years off that client, absolutely worth it. This is what happens a lot in marketing. Think about your mail. How many times do you get mail from your dentist saying, come in for a free whitening or a free teeth cleaning, right? They're losing money on that. Why are they doing that? Well, the average client value for a dentist is $2,500. It costs them about $60 to give you a free whitening, right? So I spent $60 plus my marketing costs. I make about $2,300 off that deal. I'll do that all day, right? So in the marketing world, we deal with a lot of these, what we call lost drivers or tripwires. It's some kind of really low-cost offer to get you long-term value. And you're going to pay for that. You're going to pay to market it, and you're going to lose money maybe on the deal. Your goal is to pay for your advertising spend. So if you've got a system and a funnel really set up well, your lost driver will still pay for the advertising spend, and then you'll also make money year on year or service on service. And then a lead magnet is the same kind of thing. Let's say I go on your website and you've got 5 tips for running your small business using QuickBooks, right? All right, I'm a small business owner. I just got QuickBooks. I'm lost. I don't know how to do this. I want this thing. So I ask for your name and your email, maybe your phone number. I'll give you the free ebook, right? But now I got a lead. Now I can call you. Now I can email you. And there's a lot of value to that. Okay, SEO, you guys probably hear a lot about. For CPA firms, SEO is really, really valuable, but it's very difficult. Very difficult. So how many CPA firms are here? Right? A lot, right? So how many slots do you have on the first page of Google? You got 10, right? So there's no way that all of you guys are ever going to be on page 1. And if you're not on page 1, it doesn't matter for Google. Nobody checks page 2, like ever. So it's often not worth paying for SEO unless you know that you're going to be on page 1 and pretty high up. About 60 to 70% of people click on the first link. So 60 to 70% first link, position 2, position 3, you're fighting for like that 30%. So it's pretty small. So what do you do if you can't do this SEO? Because ideally for CPA firms, a lot of people are searching for your services, so SEO could be valuable. Well, Google says if you can't rank, if you can't get your page up there, you can pay for it. That's AdWords, right? So I pay for AdWords, I get up there, and I say, when people search for a CPA firm in Indianapolis, I want to be number 1. I'll pay for that. And for that keyword term, you're probably going to pay anywhere from $4 to $10 a click. So AdWords can get a bit expensive, but it's a good tool if you can't afford the SEO. So for CPA firms, SEO and AdWords are good strategies because lots of people do search for your stuff. But let's say that, for example, I am, well, we can use that example of like the probiotic customer that we work with. So they sell probiotics. You don't have a lot of people searching for probiotics. You're never going to rank for it because you've got all these other huge medical firms that are ranking for that stuff. So we'll use AdWords a little bit, but really we'll use Facebook ads because Facebook means we're going to get in front of people that didn't quite know that they wanted probiotics. It's too new, they need to learn about it. So it's just like putting something in the newspaper. Facebook ads are just like your newspaper of the old day, where you're trying to get in front of people who don't really know that they need your services, maybe. So I always say this customer acquisition ain't free, right? So biggest myth that we get a lot with social media is they think it's free, right? I have a free Facebook page, I have a free Twitter account, I'll hire an intern to do this stuff. Get it all the time. It's not free, right? So my cost per 1,000 impressions on average in Facebook now is like $10. 3-4 years ago, it used to be like $2. It was awesome. Now it's $10. But let's say I want to reach business owners. How many of you want to reach business owners? Everybody, yeah, right? So everyone's trying to reach business owners, obviously. There's a lot of competition there. So that's how AdWords works. That's how Facebook works. It's a bid auction system. So you're going to have to pay more to reach those people because everyone's trying to reach those people. It's just like getting into a Cosmopolitan, right? You're going to have to pay a lot because there's a lot of competition for ad space in those magazines. So to reach business owners, because we do this, it'll generally cost you about $30 per 1,000 people. So how many business owners are there in Indianapolis? Anyone know? Show you real quick. Let's create an ad. Let's do brand awareness. Continue. Okay, I'm just in the back of Facebook here, and we don't want the US, we want Indianapolis. Let's get rid of that. All right, so I can choose here, do I want to do just a city? Do I want to do a radius? We'll do a radius. We'll say, I don't know, plus or minus 10 miles is fine. Great. So we're not going to do Carmels or Fishers or any of the donut counties. All right, and then I want to do small business, maybe. Okay, so we've got a couple different options here. I can do all this different stuff with small business. Are people interested in it? Has Facebook identified you as a small business owner? Usually what we like to do is behaviors. So this is a behavior. So these are people that Facebook is tracking. Facebook tracks everything you do. And are you going to websites? Are you making purchases? Are you behaving in a way that identifies you as a business owner? Facebook says, okay. In the US, we have 40 million people, right, in the US that identify with that. So Facebook will tell you your numbers, right? Okay, so click on that. So now I've got small business owners in Indianapolis. How many people? 36,000, right, 36,000. Now there's a lot of different targeting that we can do to find more people, find different people, etc. But real simple, real basic, 36,000. So I told you, how much will it cost to reach 1,000 people on Facebook if they're business owners? $30, right, $30. So if I want to reach 30,000 people, how much is that going to cost? So 1,000 people is $30. So if I want to reach 10,000 people, $300. 30,000 people, $900, right? So a lot of stuff that we do with clients is running through the math and the logistics of what's going to cost you to reach these people. So if I just want to reach them one time, it's going to cost me $900. How many people are going to buy your stuff after seeing an ad on Facebook one time? Nobody, right? You're going to have to reach them multiple times. So say your average is 5 to 7 times. Again, multiply that out. It's going to cost you $4,500 to maybe start getting some clients in, right? And remember, Facebook is cheaper than newspapers and radio and everything else. So the name of the game is marketing is expensive. Now, how do you get that cost cheaper? Well, one, we can do a lot of funky stuff on the back of Facebook to optimize it, to make it cheaper, but it's still not going to get way down, right? It's really about building up your presence and your brand, right? If people see you again and again and again, Well, eventually it gets cheaper to get them to click and visit your website and give you a call. Plus, if you get one client, how many of you have clients that refer other clients to you? Yeah, almost everybody, right? If you're good at what you do, you're going to get referrals. So that's what will happen is it'll cost you quite a bit up front, but that one client might lead to another 3 clients, right? So at first I paid $5,000 to get that first guy, but after that, maybe he brought me 2 more, brings my cost down. I'm reaching more people more often, brings my cost down. So marketing is really expensive to get it going. You've got to invest. What we usually see is if you've got an established business, about 3 months to 6 months before you'll start seeing consistent returns on that investment. But you'll never see anything. I don't care what kind of marketing you do. If you just do it and suddenly leads come in. It doesn't happen, right? Marketing is relationships and it's trust. That's what you're building. So it's not free. It's still expensive, but it's cheaper than doing it. And if you want to grow and scale your business, you're going to have to invest, right? You're not going to get regular leads, regular clients, if you're not out there connecting with people. Either you got to do it on your own, and you guys don't have time for that, right? You want to grow your business, you cannot be handling every single sale. You cannot be handling all the marketing, right? It will never work. You either need to hire someone else to do it, you need to outsource it, but there's got to be a different way, right? When we work with a lot of small businesses, that's what they're trying to do. They're trying to do everything. They're trying to do HR, trying to do operations, sales, marketing, and then they wonder why they can't grow. So the first year of my business, and you guys can probably relate to this, I paid myself $30,000 before taxes, right? That's how much I paid myself. I didn't pay myself anything, right? I put all that money back into marketing, back into hiring staff. I outsourced my HR, I got a CPA firm, I'm not doing my own accounting, right? So the second I had money, I put it back in, right? And now we're making 6 figures, right? So when you take that money up front, yeah, it's gonna take you time to get that return back, but you've gotta be able to be patient and invest to get that money back. All right, and just because I'm a Star Trek nerd, it's all about data. Everything is data. Everything is strategic, right? If you guys are business owners, you're all about the numbers. So when I run a Facebook campaign, I'm thinking, okay, I'm going to reach 100,000 people. How many of those 100,000 will click on my ad? If it's an audience that doesn't know me, they've never seen our stuff before, probably 1%. 1% of people will click on it. So out of 100,000 people, I'm getting 10% to actually click. Now, of that 10% that goes to my website then, how many of them are going to download my form or give us a call? Well, no one's going to give you a call off the first one unless you have some kind of amazing deal. That's why you do your tripwires and your lost drivers. Anywhere between 2% and 20%, depending on the industry you're in, is average, right? So if I'm getting 1,000 people to my website, I'm lucky if I get 200 people to actually download something and get their email address, right? So you've got really low numbers that you're dealing with, but you've got to understand the math, you've got to understand your conversions and your cost to project what you need to spend to get the results that you want. So your 2 places to be are Facebook and AdWords all the time. Facebook, it has all the people. Google has all the people, right? Those are your number 1 places to be, especially as a CPA firm. Businesses, this is where they are, right? So, data again. All right. So what I kind of just talked about with the numbers is what we call a marketing funnel. You have a lead generation funnel, a sales funnel, right? So when we look at this, we're thinking, okay, people don't know who we are. We need to make them aware of who we are. We've got to spend money to do that. Now, again, in Facebook and AdWords and everything else, I can see who clicked, right? So Facebook, let's say, nobody over here clicked on the stuff. You guys clicked, right? So who do I want to talk to next? Do I want to pay money to talk to the people that ignored my stuff or pay money to talk to the people who engaged? I want to talk to these people, right? So I'm not going to pay for you guys anymore. I'm going to leave you over there. And I'm going to pay more money to talk to you guys again, right? I'm going to say, okay, we sent out just a little blurb on something that we did volunteering in the community. right? Now I want to engage with you and say, hey, by the way, did you know that we have these cool tips that you can read on how to use QuickBooks? So that'll be step 2. How many people are going to read those tips on QuickBooks? Again, maybe 10%, right, if I'm lucky. So these guys are gone, so I'm now just with these 3 guys. But these 3 people over here are people that I know are probably going to buy my stuff because they read our post, they engaged with the second piece of content we sent them. So I'm going to say, hey, you know what? Sounds like you guys need some help with QuickBooks. Why don't you give us a call? Why don't you send us an email? And so you're basically working down that funnel by focusing your spend, focusing your activity based on user behavior. I know what you guys do. I know what you guys like. I'm going to focus my time and energy there. And then obviously, you always need new people coming in. So you always have to spend some money to reach new people, some money to engage people that know you, and some money to actually get them to pick up the phone or take an action. So real quick, before we kind of run into that a little bit and what it looks like more, you need a couple things before you can even do any kind of marketing online. You need a good website. So like I said, if you send people to your website, it loads slow, it doesn't work on a phone, it's just really bad, or I can't find where I want to go, you're basically wasting money. Do your website first, make sure that that's solid, that it's optimized for lead generation. A lot of people built websites 5 years ago just as a place to be online. Nowadays, when you build a website, you should design it so that it specifically directs people to take actions you want them to take. So you got to really think and plan that out. Okay, how do I want to get people to come from a visitor to a client? And that's pretty strategic. It's got to be mobile optimized. You have to be ready for people to come on their phones. Everyone is starting to use their phones for everything. So really important. You have to have fast load times for mobile. Landing pages are specific pages that people will go to that convert into a lead. Right, so something, maybe I send them to a page about my QuickBooks download. I want them to download that book, so I'm going to get them to click, give me their name, give me their email, I'll give them the book. A really good landing page will convert at 20% if it's really, really good. But it's hard to get to that point. And then you need analytics. It's all about the data. So Google, Facebook, AdWords, they all have little tracking code that you have to put into your website to be able to get that information. So if I'm running a Facebook campaign, I want to know how old are they, where do they live, what gender are they. I can't get that information unless I've got tracking code on my website. Super easy to do. Any web developer can do it in 10 minutes, but you need to have it there. You need an ad spend. Like I said, it's not free. You're not going to reach anyone if you're just posting every day. And you got to be strategic, right? What are your goals? Who are you targeting with what content? If I don't have a plan in place, then I'm just kind of throwing stuff against the wall. It doesn't make a lot of sense. And then I always throw this in there just because I see so many small businesses with Google Maps that's not correct. So you have a Google My Business account. Everyone automatically has one, or you can claim one. It doesn't take much time at all. But if you don't have your address up to date in the back of Google, then you're going to be on the wrong place on Maps. So just always please check Google Maps, make sure your business is located in the right place. If not, ask me. I have a real simple walkthrough article I can send you. It literally takes like 10 minutes, but it gets you in the correct place so people are actually finding you. So which platform is best for my firm? Should it be on Twitter, Pinterest, Instagram, all of them, right? This is usually what people do is say, all the things, I want to be on all the things. Yeah, it's an awful idea, right? You don't have that time, you don't have that kind of money. Focus, if you know that your clients are on Twitter, for example, then great, focus your time there. But make sure that Twitter is working for you and driving business before you jump to another platform. You know, if Facebook is the place where you want to be, it probably is. Be on Facebook, get it working, then move to another platform. But you can't spread yourself out, right? Otherwise, it's too hard. All right, so just some real simple basics, because I do get a lot of questions as to what kind of the basic stuff for some of these platforms. Facebook, be here, advertise here. Everybody's here. The functionality on Facebook is amazing for who I can target, what kind of creative copy I can run, how I can test it. It's phenomenal. Don't use hashtags on Facebook. It's just every platform has their own kind of unwritten rules of the way that people work. And again, I'm a data guy. So if you look at the data says that if you put hashtags on Facebook, less people will engage most of the time. Now this stuff changes. It's not always set in stone. The platforms change just like people change. But for now, don't put hashtags on Facebook unless they're funny. Funny ones are okay. Like asking for a friend, like that's an okay one. It's funny. All right, Twitter. Twitter is great for customer service, and I'll show you how that works. It's also great for kind of targeting customers and finding new people. And again, I'll show you how that works in a little bit here. Twitter, 2 hashtags. If you're using more than 2 hashtags, it looks spammy. Again, you will lower your click-through rates. You'll lower your engagement rates. Instagram and Pinterest. So very interesting. So Instagram and Pinterest are more for obviously picture-heavy e-commerce, food, beauty. Not probably great for CPA firms. But 6 would be your max. It used to be 30 until 2 weeks ago. And Instagram changed their algorithm, and now they will penalize you for having more than 6. And that's my world. These platforms change every day. The way that Google ranks things changes every day. The way that Facebook runs things changes every day. So we've got to be on top of it, because we had to go, and every client that we're running an Instagram account for, we had to change the hashtags, right? So it's important to be on top of stuff. LinkedIn is great for personal presence. I highly recommend it. You should be building connections there, building relationships with people there. It's pretty personal. You can do LinkedIn marketing the same way you do Facebook marketing, but it's 3 to 4 times more expensive. LinkedIn's a really expensive platform to run advertising on. So we generally don't recommend it for small businesses. You might see a higher conversion rate, so you have to balance that out. Is a higher conversion rate generating enough business to cover the cost? Usually for a small business, not so much. So give you a general strategy when you're posting. 70, 20, 10 is kind of the percentages we tell people to start off with to make sure that you're engaging with people in the right way. So we talked about you want to engage with people on social media the same way you do in real life, right? 70% of your interactions should be providing value. Maybe that's entertainment, maybe it's information, maybe you're trying to educate them, but 70% should be providing value to your audience, to your followers. And most of the time, that's not your content. Sometimes people think they have to write all this content, create all this content. You don't. There's more than enough great content out there. You don't need to spam the internet with more crappy content, right? Find the good stuff that's out there, share it 70% of the time, that's fine. 20% should be really good content that you create. And again, highly recommend, like if we look at CPA firms, real estate, dentists, they all tend to have like the same exact content, right? Like have you ever gone to a realtor's website and looked at their blogs, anyone? And it's like 5 tips for new homeowners. And if you look at the next realtor website, it's almost the same, like all the time, right? That does nothing for you. People don't find it valuable. Google hates it, so it doesn't help you rank. So you have to have really good content. So it's better to spend time to write one really good piece of content that's valuable and different than it is to write a bunch of crappy ones. Give you an example. We work with the Society for Diversity here in Indianapolis. We wrote a 14-page white paper for them, well, I don't know, 8 months ago, I think it was, when we wrote that. Put it up on their website. People can give them name, email, phone number, and download it, right? We make about $15,000 a month from that white paper alone because it's better than anything else out there. No one took the information that we have available on that paper and actually put it into one place. So when they download it, they see it's really valuable, and then they sign up for the offerings that this company offers. So this company has offerings for different classes and credentials that range from $2,000 to $4,000. So we can get about 5 conversions a month off of that paper, comes out to about $15,000 for them. Now that didn't happen right away, right? It took time for them to download the paper, they got onto the newsletter, saw the newsletters, kept delivering value. But last week, we got a call from the Pentagon. The Pentagon just signed $1 million contract for credentialing and consulting with this client because they read that white paper. And they did it 3 days after. So when you take the time, and it took us about 40 hours to put that piece of content together. 14 pages took about 40 hours in terms of research, in terms of writing, right? But that piece of paper has made them over $1 million in the past 8 months. So are you willing to invest that time? Yeah, if you know what you're doing, right? Choose a relevant landing page, make sure they go the right place. All right. Oh, sorry, skipped it. 10% is promotional. You say, buy my stuff, come to my event, sign up for my discount, take my offer, 10% of what you can do. And if you think about it again, it's just like real life. If I'm making new friends, if I'm talking to new business partners, we're gonna go to lunch, have coffee, meet at networking events for a while before I say, hey, you know what, I've got these services or I've got a special going on, are you interested? Right, so same, just like real life. Okay. Really important in the online marketing world, get their information. Right, the entire purpose of your marketing campaigns, your social media strategy, you should be getting names and numbers or probably emails. If you're not getting that information from them, it's very hard to follow up. The vast majority of your business comes from retargeting, right? They have to see it again and again. So if you don't know who they are, you can't send them a newsletter. I can't retarget them on Facebook, right? We need that information. So make sure you have landing pages that collect information. And how many people are just going to sign up to your newsletter? Nobody, right? Nobody's just going to sign up to your newsletter on your website. You have to offer value. What are you providing them that's so valuable? Because I don't want spam in my email, right? Do you guys want more spam in your emails? Absolutely not, right? So what are you going to give them that's so valuable that they're willing to give you the name and email, right? That's what you have to figure out. And I always say during live interactions, it's good to encourage people to follow you and connect. The more people that follow you, the more the algorithms rank you higher and you get more reach, all that kind of stuff. So if you see someone in the office, recommend them to follow your Facebook page or follow you guys on Twitter. But the personal interactions, connect your offline and your online strategy. Should be the same, right? All right, talked about landing pages already. You have to be consistent. Just like anything in marketing, it takes a couple months to get things going. So if you're not doing it again and again, if you start it, then stop it, start it, then stop it, you're never going to build up the momentum that you need to get results. It's all about momentum, really, at the end of the day. I find an audience of 10,000 people. I engage with them again and again and again. They started to see me enough. They started to trust me. They're going to start to take action, right? But if they see me once, and then they see me once, maybe 6 months later, it's not enough, right? So real important. Go ahead.
So you told me I can engage a firm like you and say, oh, 50 miles circle around me, and any business bigger than whatever, you'll push my Facebook page or my whatever,
Yeah.
Facebook, LinkedIn, whatever,
Yep.
and somehow you're populating that so it shows up on their Facebook page.
Yep. Yep. In their news feed, right? So.
When you go on a personal one, you see all these, that's what you guys do.
Yep. So let me show you exactly. We can do that run through right now. It's a good lead into the question. All right, let me close out of this ad. Let's go to this pin. All right, so let's see. Let's do Show Nutrition. All right. So let's look at Show Nutrition. So they sell a probiotic online, so we market their probiotic for them. All right, so let's go in here. Okay. So what this campaign is doing is it's specifically generating leads. They want people's information, they want their name, their phone number, right? So you can see here the leads that we're getting. So we started this campaign on, what was it, Monday, the 14th? So it started on the 14th, it's been running for 3 days. We've gotten 53 leads, right? So names and email addresses cost us a whole $100, $2.17 per lead, right? And so this is new, it's not optimized yet. We haven't optimized the click-through rates and the content and the audiences, all that. But you're seeing $2 You got a name, you got an email address, you can talk to these people. So how do we target those people? Go create an ad, blah, 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 start over. Okay, so you see what Facebook does for you here? You have all these different options. What the hell does it all mean, right? We could spend a lot of time on Facebook. It's a lot of stuff. But they're saying, here's your funnel, right? Here's your funnel. Here's your top, your awareness. After you've run your awareness campaigns, then you should have your engagement or consideration. These are what you can run here. Then you should have your bottom of funnel conversions, right? So start here, build awareness, move it to engagement, move it to conversions. Facebook basically sets it up for you to run it as a funnel. So they're very smart that way. So let's say we're just going to start with brand awareness. Continue. All right, so who do you want to reach? Who do you want to target?
Small business owners.
Okay, so let's just do Indianapolis, the city. So let's not include anything outside that. So you'll see it'll just do the city boundaries rather than a radius. So I can target the age here. How many 18-year-olds are going to take your services? Not too many, right? So let's say that we deal with an older demographic of 28 plus. Anyone that's retired? Probably not. So we'll drop it down to, like, let's say people are retiring later these days. All right. So now here's where you can do all your targeting. So it's kind of pre-populating the targeting because this is a probiotic client, but we can put in small biz. So again, that's all the small business information, right? Do I want people that are interested? Do I want owners? Do I want people that behave like small business owners? Let's say that I want to target moms. And so we do this with child care centers and schools, right? So 0 to 12. So if I type that in, I can target just parents of children 0 to 12 months old. So I'm a child care, I want to target people who just have babies. I can target people who just have babies, right? So that's really specific, but let's see how many people there are in India that do that. So you can see I got 30,000 people. But maybe Facebook hasn't quite picked up on all of them, so we'll do baby products. And we'll say, okay, I also want to target people who are buying baby products online. If they're buying baby products, they're probably moms, right? So now that doubled it, right? So Facebook was able to find another 50,000 people who are buying products online for babies. So we can get really, really specific. You can layer this, you can exclude all, like it gets pretty complicated. But,
I understand that, I mean, when you're buying, you know, when you're pushing products, dollar,
yeah,
we're pushing $180 an hour, $50 an hour, we're working for a tax return that can cost anywhere from $250 to $10,000.
yep,
So without getting too technical, I guess, I'm not going to do this. I'm going to hire someone like you to do this for me.
sure,
Let's cut to the what, and we say 8% of your revenue in theory.
Yep.
Never mind, this accounts are cheap.
right,
There's no way in hell we're spending 8% of our revenue
yeah,
on marketing.
sure,
Because the fear is if it comes too fast, we're not going to be able to service what we have.
right,
Because it's hard to find
Yep.
people who do what we want to do and do it well.
right, yeah,
So with all those constraints, and this makes sense, how do we, what should we be doing? What should we be retaining marketing individuals like you to, you know, I think I've built awareness. People in my community know who I am now, or getting to know who I am. And not that many people, let's put it that way.
yeah, sure.
Maybe like a blast
What's
is
one?
going to overwhelm this versus like sporadic, strategic type.
Yeah, so my recommendation, especially for any small business, is to start small and expand, right? So I really highly recommend focusing on a specific business. Maybe you guys deal with construction companies, maybe you guys are working with people that are just starting off, maybe it's people that are running some kind of e-commerce business.
Well, I can see an individual. Tell me every individual who just bought a house for $250,000 or more within 20 miles of my radius.
Yeah,
Because
sure.
I want them to know who I am.
Right,
Because
yeah,
I know they'll spend a few bucks on preparing their taxes.
sure.
That's what you can do.
Yeah, so a couple examples. You can target job titles, so people that identify as a manager or a founder or a CEO. You can also target by behavior in that sense. So let's say I want to do seniority. So again, this is behaviors. Who are people that act like CEOs? Who are people that act like mid-management? You want to do salaries. Let's say 120,000. Okay. So again, these are income levels. So you can target people by income level. How much do they make per year, right? Let's say I want to target new homeowners, you said, right? So that's fine.
And so when you're going through all this, I understand that you're saying it's pretty cheap for what you got to pay Facebook to do all this once you build
Yeah,
it.
right.
The question is what's the budget to get someone like yourself or a firm like yourself
Okay.
to make that all happen? Because
Sure.
that's the front end load of it.
Right.
It's cheap to push the button and know how to do it.
Yeah.
We don't know how to do it.
Right. You don't have the expertise, right? Right. So we start off at $1,000 a month for basic management. If you're just doing a Facebook ad campaign, that's $1,000, right? We are quite cheap because we're small. If you're looking at most of the downtown companies, they won't start at anything under $5,000 a month. It's pretty standard. On your end, you just have to understand what's my return on the investment, right? Am I making 5 times that? I'm going to make 4 times that. What's the value? For most of our clients, we bring in about $10,000 a month for the smaller businesses, right? So a lot of them are paying about a $2,000 management fee. They put another $1,000, maybe $2,000 into their ad spend. So they're spending $3,000 or $4,000. They're making $10,000 back, right? And then obviously they got operating costs and stuff in there. No, all over the place. Do substance abuse treatment, e-commerce, mental health clinics, clothing lines, probiotics. It's really pretty wide in who we're working with. Facebook tends to be a bit more B2C, not as much B2B. B2B, it's a little bit of a longer term lead and sales cycle, right? So you've got to really kind of push it to a specific audience more. Yeah.
So we pay you $1,000 a month for what kind of, 12 months, 24 months, 36 months, and then does that buy you one campaign? Because all of us
Sure.
in this room do more than one thing.
Yeah, right.
January, February, we want tax clients. The rest of the year, we want accounting clients.
Sure.
Does that buy us one campaign? Is that $1,000 per campaign? Or is that $1,000 a month buy you multiple campaigns but smaller?
So different companies operate differently.
We're accountants, you guys know we're
Sure.
cheap.
Right, right. Different companies operate differently. For us, we partner strategically with the business, right? So if we're getting you guys results, you're continuing with us, right? That's the goal. So we're often strategically changing things. So we have a lot of internal metrics to understand, is this campaign successful? Is it not successful? Shut it down, start a new one, change it up. So we're constantly tweaking things on the back end. So I'll give you an example. Let's go to, well, even, whatever, we'll do a different one. So even for that probiotic, we spent about a month and a half identifying their audiences, right? You have to identify audience. Once you've identified audience, then you have to understand content, how that content matches to your audience, and then you start optimizing for long-term conversions. So let's see, we want to go to... So give you an example on these guys. So we just started with them a week or two ago. And so you can see here that we spent $1,000 last week just in this campaign, but we made $3,000, right? So spend $1,000, they get a $2,000 return in a week on investment, right? So pretty good. Sales were 3,000, yeah. So they run e-commerce. So again, with Facebook, we can track everything, right? So we know exactly who purchased what online just from the Facebook campaigns. So it's a bit easier. Sure. So see here, we did a whole lot more split testing. We spent about $6,700, but we got $25,000 back, right? So you get the return on ad spend 4 times, 5 times, 4 times, right? There's a very large return on the ad spend once you have those optimized, but it takes a lot of time, it takes money to do that, right? We did this one pretty fast because they had a lot of previous data. They had some other people running campaigns that we could use a lot to build out our data sets and understand what was going to work. If you don't have that, it's going to take you a lot longer. What I want to show you guys here, though, is if you go into your audiences, Facebook does very specific targeting, which is fantastic, and a lot of people don't even know exists. So I can create all these custom audiences. I can say custom audience. I can create from a customer file. I just want to target people who are already my customers, or maybe I bought a list from someone and I want to target just those people. I can upload them into the back of Facebook and just target those people. I can also create a lookalike audience. So Facebook will take all the data from these people that have purchased from you. Who are these people? What's similar about them? Let's try and reach more people like that. Facebook will create that audience for you. I can go into my website. I can say, okay, I want to target people that visited my entire website in the past 30 days. So everyone that's coming to my website, I'm going to remarket to them, right? So Facebook knows who visits the website. They know what pages they visit. They know what videos they watched. I can check out all that kind of stuff and retarget these people over and over again, right? So really cool. All right, so I know we're short on time. So any other questions real quick before we finish?
I have a question for the audience. This was a fire hose of information, is that fair? What did you learn? Give me Dan, would you have 2 or 3 things that you picked up from this?
I didn't know any of this stuff at the back end of Facebook.
Yep.
Is that scary or not? No, it's scary. I like that it's there. I just
Right.
didn't know that there was
Yeah.
nothing.
Personally, it's a bit scary. As a business or a marketer, it's fantastic, right? Yeah.
It's like,
Yeah.
what else we learned?
I think I learned that if I waste time on this social media crap, it's actually going to pay off.
Right. It does, but it takes time and effort and money, right?
Consistency.
Yep.
You gotta have a message out there.
Yeah.
A presence.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Yep.
One more thing for me. What else did you learn?
I like the 70-20 example, knowing how to break it up.
Yeah. Kind of just having a starting point and metrics and stuff in place is very important. Yeah.
What I got out of this, historically, marketing has frustrated me because there's like 80-20 rule, 20% of it works, you just don't know which 20. This helps with that. Any final closing remarks, Nick? You got
Yeah.
30 seconds.
30 seconds. I just wanted to show you something really cool that most people don't know you can do on Twitter. So real quick, Twitter. All right. So I can target real-time conversations on Twitter. This is awesome. So this is a special tool, but it's free. I'll just do it quick. So let's say I want to target people that are talking about taxes. So right here, right now, this is everyone in the world that's talking about taxes on Twitter right now, right? So we can see that. So I don't want everyone in the world, right, because my business is in Indianapolis. So I'll go here. I'll locate, add Indianapolis as my location. There we go. Great. Okay. Now I have a real-time feed of every single person that's talking about taxes right now in Indianapolis. And if I want, as a business, I can talk to those people. So you got a question? Let me help you. Oh, you're looking for this rate? I can help you with that, right? So this is incredibly valuable as a real-time communication tool. It's Twitter. This is called TweetDeck. It's free. Just type in tweetdeck.com, and you can pull this up. Again, it looks like there's a lot of stuff, but it's easy once you get into it. But yeah, we can have these real-time conversations with potential clients, and it's awesome. Yep. Well.